Freelancing is a great way for you to take a business at absolute zero and start sprinting with it really fast. This is a huge opportunity that the internet has provided to us, and it is a great way for you to really get yourself going in your field. It may not be what you ultimately want to do. You might not always want to be a service-based business, but it is absolutely essential to get these first few client experiences under your belt to really understand how to grow your business better. However, a lot of freelancers fail, and they fail for a very particular reason. That reason is that they forget that this is actually a business. You have to think of your freelancing career as a business. You cannot think of it as just some side money that you get sometimes. You have to think about the other side of the equation, your clients, right? I've made nearly $150,000 freelancing at this point, and I have honed this craft down to a science. So in this video, I'm gonna take you through all the steps that you need to start your freelancing career and to be successful with it and to do it fast. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel, I talk about all the things that you can do to improve your business through marketing, sales, and analytics. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment and let me know where you are with this freelancing thing. If you're thinking about doing it, if you're in it and you're having trouble, I guarantee you these steps are gonna help. We're gonna get into them right now, so let's get started. So the first thing you need to do as a freelancer to be successful is to understand your niche or find your niche. As a freelancer, you are basically on your own. You have to think of everything like a business. Again, everything that you do is a business decision. It is up to you to define the work that you do, what you pursue, and what you are good at, okay? You have to consider your brand reputation that you're building while doing that work as well. Effectively, everything that you do is marketing. You can check out this video to understand more deeply how to find that niche and how to apply it to what we're doing in this freelancing situation here. But just by way of overview, when we're trying to find this, we have to consider a balance between passion and skills. So just to clear up that point, we need to find something that we are passionate about, that we love to do, but also that we're good at doing. It's really important that you are good at this and that you love it. If you're not passionate about it, you're not going to continue to engage in the activity. If you're not good at it, no one's going to hire you to do it, okay? And it's really easy here to forget that freelancing is not just some job in the traditional sense. You're not somebody who's clocking in, doing whatever work some faceless corporation demands, and clocking out again. These are real people with real businesses of their own, and they have a need which they are hiring you to fulfill. So if you understand what you're good at and what you love to do, it's gonna help you to have better communication with your customers. It's gonna help you to better present what things they need to do or what things you can do for them and give them that information or that result very quickly. And it becomes a lot easier to keep a strong relationship with this client. All right, let's talk about where to look for work. So there are basically two options when it comes to looking for work. You either build your own relationships or you use services online like Upwork or Fiverr. If you decide to build your own relationships, expect this to take somewhat a long time. You're starting from scratch. People don't know who you are, they don't know to trust you, and you're coming to potentially ice cold leads that have no use or interest in your service or don't realize that they do, okay? The upside to this, of course, is that whenever you do get your own clients, you don't owe anybody any money or referral fees to engage with them or anything like that. And as we're gonna see with Upwork and Fiverr, that is not the case. Platforms like Upwork, on the other hand, also have some huge advantages of their own. First, you're effectively looking at a sales platform where people are screaming, "I want to give you money." This means that everyone who puts up a job is a warm lead. Your job isn't to convince them that they need your service like it is when you're looking for people on your own. That part is already done. Your job is just to convince them that you are the best choice for the need that they already have. It takes a lot of stress out of the process. Another huge benefit is the security of these systems. So one of the worst parts of any service business is chasing clients to pay you. If you have ever done service work for people, you can probably attest to this. I had a client one time that I worked with who I met outside of any of these platforms that just refused to pay me until I hounded him for months. I had a really good relationship with this guy, and he still refused to pay me for months until finally I just said, "I'm not coming in until you pay me." And then eventually I just ended up quitting because that life just was not sustainable, okay? So the fact that you have this protection on Upwork or Fiverr, even if your client has you do a lot of work through this platform and then just decides to ghost, is a really, really strong argument for why you would want to use this system, because they'll pay you instead of this guy and then they'll just go after that person. So I had another client who I worked for who had me do $2,000 to $3,000 worth of work and then just disappeared. And this was all within a month period. And Upwork came to me and said, I saw that they disappeared. Here, we're going to reimburse you for all of those expenses and all of your billables because that was an agreement that you entered into, and we'll go after this guy. Great, I never had to think about it again. They did that for me. Now, of course, one of the biggest arguments against using a system like Upwork or Fiverr is that there is a commission that you have to pay when you get a client through these systems. I'm gonna tell you right now, I think this argument is just stupid, okay? I'm sorry, but it's really stupid. This is a business. Again, I'm gonna say it, this is a business and businesses cost money. Do not delude yourself into thinking that you can do business for free. Upwork is 20% of the first $500, 10% of the next $10,000, 5% of anything past that. They have a lowering scale as you earn more on the platform per client, okay? So to me, it makes no sense to worry about how much commission they're getting when they're providing you with security that you don't ever have to worry about losing money on this platform as long as you play by their rules. And you're getting a huge list of constantly updating warm leads. Why would you not want a constantly updating list of warm leads? It's just ridiculous. This is a no-brainer, guys. Do not worry about this money. Everything costs money. There is a cost to doing business. Be okay with it. All right, now let's talk about how to present yourself. So no matter whether you're using a platform where you're applying to jobs like on Upwork, or whether you're hanging a shingle for a particular job that you can do and getting others to come to you, presenting yourself is absolutely key. Do you seem to know what you're talking about? Do you have relevant examples of your work? All that sort of stuff is really important because it comes down to the same emotional triggers that it always comes down to in any marketing and sales situation. Trust, authority, and social proof are some of them. These are probably the most important for your profile. You can check out this video for a lot more emotional triggers so you can figure out how to use those for your applications for freelancing. You also need to make sure that you show your work. So there's probably going to be either a portfolio section or a section with images. You should have those items there to showcase your work. Now, this doesn't always mean pretty pictures, though if you're in graphic design, that's probably a good thing. If you're in something more KPI specific, like marketing, like I am, showing past results is an excellent way of illustrating your strengths and building trust or authority that you know what you're talking about when people are looking at these images. So for instance, I have an image on there of a revenue gain from an ex-client without giving away any names of who they are or anything like that. So it shows this huge spike and they can say, oh, wow, this marketer had something to do with that. I feel a little more confident in contacting them and getting to know them a little bit better. Next, let's talk about this interplay between price and reputation. So one of the really difficult things about using a site like Upwork or Fiverr is this reputation element. When you're first starting out, you don't have any ratings or reviews on your profile, which means that people who are looking at your applications have no reason to trust whether you're going to follow through with your promises or not. This tends to make you feel like you need to charge less in the beginning because people are going to be more willing to pay if you're charging less. I definitely felt that way myself. I made that mistake big time by charging only $35 an hour at the start, and it took me a long time to get to $150 an hour because I started so low, and you can't go $35 an hour on day one, $70 an hour on day two, $150 an hour on day three, because people are going to look at that and go, well, why do I think that you're worth going from 35 to 70 and then 75 to 150? I don't think that, so I'm not gonna pay you. I think that you're just ingratiating yourself, okay? So you need to legitimize the increase. You can't just do it 0 to 1. There are really two schools of thought here on how we should find this balance for price and reputation. The first thought is by charging low, you're building confidence in people who are coming to look at your profile because they'll see that you have a lot of good reviews and you're able to get those reviews quickly because people who are coming and considering hiring you don't see a lot of risk in paying you $8 or $35 when they could hire somebody who has more reputation, $180 for the same thing. So maybe they're willing to pay low and get that result from you so that you can get those 5-star reviews and build that reputation and then increase your price as you go, okay? There is a pitfall to avoid here though. When you're looking at doing things very quickly and getting a lot of reviews really fast, you need to avoid doing things outside of your niche. If you're doing things outside of your niche, there's going to be no extra confidence gained from those testimonials. For instance, if you're a graphic designer and you have 50 5-star reviews and they're all about data entry, when you're putting in applications for graphic design, nobody's going to have any more extra confidence in your ability as a graphic designer at the end of those 50 data entry jobs than they did at the beginning, because none of those testimonials have anything to do with graphic design. So it doesn't make sense. Stay in your niche. The other option is to price high, or price what you think you should be priced at, and be patient. If I had it to do all over again, this is the route I would take. You know your worth, and most people are definitely going to bypass you for knowing your worth, but it really only takes one good job completed successfully to get one rating on there at that higher level, and you're going to establish yourself. You're going to start to build that reputation, and you're going to make more money more quickly. Of course, patience is absolutely necessary here. Expect that you're going to lose a lot more jobs in the beginning, because people are not going to come as quickly or as easily at first if you have that higher price to begin with. All right, once you figured all that out, your niche and your pricing strategy and all that sort of stuff, now you need to figure out, are we looking at an hourly contract or a fixed contract? How do you want to bill? If you're billing hourly, you're billing according to how much you work. So if you charge 35 bucks an hour and you work 1 hour, you get 35 bucks. If you work 5 hours, you're billing 5 hours, you're going to get 175 bucks. A fixed contract is the same amount no matter how much work you put in. So the project could be 2 hours, it could be 50 hours. The contract amount will not change, okay? What you pick is largely based on personal preference and the type of work you do. If you're in graphic design, a fixed rate is usually going to be better, because the amount of time it takes you to put in to create that image might not be as much as you're actually due for the amount of learning and education and all that sort of stuff that went into you being able to actually do this. If you're a consultant, hourly might fit the amount of work you put in better. It just really depends on what you're doing and your style of play. All right, now let's talk about how to apply the right way. So this is different from site to site. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna focus on Fiverr and Upwork, because these two are very different. One is more complex than the other. So on Fiverr, your gig lives and dies on two things: keywords and thumbnails. Your job really needs to surround a keyword that people are searching for, and your thumbnail has to attract them into click. This is literally the same thing as YouTube or other social media SEO. You get in front of them with the keyword, you get their attention with the image, you use the copy to sell to them. Upwork is a little more complicated. So first you need to identify the right job, since you're searching for jobs. I tend to use a lot of filters here when I'm searching. I'll save those filters, of course, so that I don't have to keep redoing them every time. But I'm looking for people who are looking for an expert, and they're willing to pay more to get what they're looking for, okay? I'm also looking for a description that gives real information. There are so many jobs out there that are just, I need a marketing strategist, or I need web page copy. And you can't do anything with that. It's ridiculous. So your application is gonna be generic too, and what's the point? Because they're not gonna respond to that, okay? So you want something with real information that you can actually respond to, and we're gonna get to why in just a minute. You also want the price range from other applicants to the job. You have to pay 10 bucks a month for this to get premium, but it's totally worth it so that you can see if you're gonna be on the high end, if you're gonna be outside the range, if you're gonna be on the low end, etc. The last two things that I want to know are what the past experiences have been, because yes, buyers also get reviewed on Upwork, and you can also reject the buyer for bad reviews. And I want to know what the person's name is, and we're going to get to why there in just a minute as well. You can get that information in the reviews most often, though I wouldn't stress if you don't find it. So once I find the right job, it's now time to apply for that job. And the first thing that I do is I make a video talking about the issues that they addressed in that job post. This is a very basic video. You just set up your phone on a tripod or on your desk or whatever, and just film yourself for 2 minutes. This is very, very effective. I would say that 80% of the people who respond to my job post applications say, oh my God, I loved your video at some point during that application discussion, okay? So here's exactly what should go into this video to make it really effective. First, say hi and say their name. If you don't have their name, look in the reviews of past people that have worked with them, and you should see their name somewhere in there. And if you don't stress about it. Just say, hey there, or something like that. Introduce yourself, highlight the fact that you found them on Upwork and that you're interested in their job. Explain what you do and why you are specifically qualified for the job that they are offering, okay? Then ask for a meeting. This video does not have to be high quality. It just has to have a basic structure. You don't have to worry about sound. You don't have to worry about lighting or anything like that. If they can see your face, that is what matters. You need to understand how to make the pitch, and that's really all there is to it. In fact, just to illustrate this point, here's a video I just recently made, and you can see that I have some belief in high quality sound and lighting and all that sort of stuff. But here's one I just recently made for a client. Hey there, my name's Trent Kennelly. I saw your ad on Upwork for a marketer to help you with building out a webinar funnel for your website. I have a lot of skill in understanding how webinars should be built out, what you should be doing to get the most out of your webinar visitors. Sounds like you've got some success already, so that's gonna be really beneficial for getting people to come into this funnel in the first place so that we can make those offers at the right time, so we can continue to persuade people down this funnel, etc. So just to kind of give you an idea of what I would do in a situation like this, I first wanna understand what you're doing now so we can make sure that we're optimizing our channels for bringing them into the funnel and then marketing to them afterwards through email and retargeting and all that sort of stuff. I want to make sure that we have a very clear brand message, and that when we put this webinar in place and the marketing materials for the webinar, I mean, the webinar is a marketing material, but everything around it as well, we have a very clearly identified bit of information about who you are and brand identity for exactly what you stand for, who you are, your colors, all that sort of stuff. I've done this with a lot of clients, a lot of different marketing sectors, so I'm very sure that I can help you with this as well. So if that sounds good to you, please feel free to reach out to me on Upwork, set up a time to chat, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much. See? I didn't have that good sound. There was echo all over the place. It was crazy. It was like that video recently where my mic broke, okay? So you don't have to worry about that stuff. This is really supposed to be just genuine and talking to the person. Now, take that video that you just did. You want to trim the beginning and the end because you want to avoid stuff like this where it looks like you're reaching for buttons because that's what you're doing. You want to start where you're smiling. You want to end where you're waving and smiling or something like that, okay? You want this to look really nice and clean and easy for them to watch, and like there's at least a little bit of thought that's gone into it, okay? Then take that video and upload it to YouTube as an unlisted video. That way, only the person who you provide the link to is going to be able to see it. It's not going to be available on search or anything like that. Then you want to write the real application. Do not copy paste some boilerplate nonsense here. It's obvious and everybody does it, which means that all of those people who do it are being discounted immediately and they're wasting their time. Again, this is about a business, and businesses are about personalization. So you need to make it obvious that you're actually writing to this person. So here's a good example. This is an actual job post that was put up, and it will be my response to it as well. So here's the job posting. Hi, I'm looking for an expert in branding, marketing, and digital strategies. I've developed a beauty brand for a year now, and I'm struggling with the competition and instability of paid advertising platforms. Recently burned $25,000 with a digital agency who completely destroyed my brand and results. I need to start everything from scratch, and now my turnover decreases by 50%. I would like to have a strategy call with someone who can do a complete review and analysis of my marketing, paid advertising, account, brand, website, and give me tips and strategies. What should I do to elevate my brand and be able to scale the business? Kind of mentoring. Here's what I wrote. Hi, name. Really quickly, want to get straight to the point. I made this video just for this proposal. Then there's the YouTube link. First off, really sorry to hear about your recent troubles with marketing this business. I think that there's a lot that can be done to effectively rehabilitate and scale this brand. I was able to look at the website and already see some funnel optimization that can be done, so I'd like to describe to you how I work on problems like this. Every business is different, so it's important to first analyze your business and understand where you stand now. I dive deep into your analytics, your outreach, your website, and the current outcomes of it all to build a plan that we can execute on as fast as possible. At this point, we execute on that plan and then see where we land. There will always be optimization to do, but taking this approach lets us start with a strong forward foot. So if that sounds good to you, let's talk. Look forward to hearing from you, Trent. See, really not complicated. There are things in this that I copied from past proposals, but I still kept this unique enough to this job posting that this person probably wouldn't even pick up on that. Then what you need to do is answer any other questions that they might have for you, add your portfolio items so that people can see what you're worth and what good things you've done in the past, that sort of stuff, then hit apply. Now comes the most important part of the entire process. Forget about it. You have no idea how obnoxious and creepy it can be to get a LinkedIn request from a freelancer who just applied to your Upwork job. You are not going to get hired doing that. Just blocked. Okay, so you've done what you can. Now forget about it and move on to the next one. Last big point is work and testimonials. So once you get hired, do the work efficiently and do it well. Remember, everything that you do is a marketing activity for your business. If you're rude, that's bad for your brand. If you do great work fast, that's good for your brand. This will all come to full importance in that testimonials and reviews section of your profile. Testimonials are the biggest part of your profile, and higher ratings are more powerful than any cover letter that you can put on your profile yourself. So do great work, get great rewards, grow faster. That's it. So there you go, guys. In a lot of cases, freelancing is a very fast way to get started in your business and move in the direction that you want for the rest of your career. So I hope that you were able to learn from my mistakes and take a lot from this guide. I really think it's going to help you. So go freelance. Let me know how it's going, if you were able to find work or not, and where you plan for things to go next with your business. I would love to know and even help you out. If I can, just shoot me a comment down below. Otherwise, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I'll catch you in the next one.